Hi, hello. We're doing a speed build today. We are building a cemetery for Pleasantview. We've got quite a few already deceased Sims in the neighborhood, and I'd like some place to put everybody. I decided to put it up here on the hill. When we jump in, I start out by leveling the lot. I took heavy inspiration from Pleasant Sim's church and cemetery lot. I also changed the lot a bit to include the Goth family mausoleum. You can see I left space for parking. These parking spaces are custom content. I'm not going to make you watch all of the terrain paint, but I try to pick out some nice landscaping. I want it to look pretty. As I start getting everything framed in, who am I? So my name is Sarah. I am 36 years old, and I love The Sims. I've been playing since the year 2000. One of my core memories is when my family was moving, we went over to the house so that my parents could talk to the owners of this house, and it was like a for sale by owner type of thing. But their teenage daughter had set up The Sims for me to play with while our parents talked. I remember being stuck in build mode, but honestly, I couldn't care less. The music in that game is truly something special. So after that, my parents were kind of just like, okay, and we got the game. I actually texted my brother, "Hi Alex," to verify which packs we had, and he said for sure we had Pets and Vacation, but I believe we had Live and Large as well. Enter the release of The Sims 2, this beautiful masterpiece that we are playing right now. I was 15 years old. I don't think we had any expansions for The Sims 2, but at this time, my computer time was severely limited. My mom only let me have an hour or so on days when I didn't have school, and if I wanted computer time after my homework was done, if it was a school night, I had like 30 minutes, I believe, which really isn't enough time to do anything, and I was playing on a dinosaur of a desktop, so load times were unfortunately a thing. And then the pinnacle, Sims 3 released when I was 20. I was in college. I played on a laptop, and I kid you not, I would start up the game. I would go, I'd have time to make myself a snack. I'd be back with my snack ready to play, and the game would not have even fully loaded yet. But once you're in, you're in. I will sit through an hour loading screen if there are no other loading screens after that point. I had a bunch of expansions kind of as they released. My favorites are Generations and Supernatural, but I also had Island Paradise, Ambitions, Pets, Showtime, and University. I actually didn't get Into the Future until last year, so that's still a relatively new pack to me. So the statue that I use in the cemetery is the Grey Woman of SimCity. The description reads, "There is an old legend about the Grey Woman of SimCity. It is said that one day, while the Grey Woman was baking a turkey, she got a phone call from her long-lost cousin and accidentally forgot the turkey was in the oven. This caused her house to catch on fire, and tragically, the turkey was burned. Also, the woman died. But it is said that she watches over all babies and toddlers from beyond the grave, and that's why they cannot be harmed by fire." And now we've got to talk about my thoughts on The Sims 4. The last pack I purchased was Growing Together, but I didn't get high school years. I heard about the bugs. At this point, it's an aesthetic simulator. They've added too much crap to the shaky foundation that they patched together from the leftovers of Project Olympus. That's why stuff doesn't work. That's why there's so many game-breaking bugs every time a new pack releases. I truly believe the base game can't handle it, and it genuinely makes me angry that they're not making a Sims 5. So that brings me to today. Am I worried about the sale? I am absolutely shitting bricks. For a game that I've played for so long, to become less inclusive and to be handled by a propaganda machine, yeah, I'm not happy about it. I haven't bought any new packs since early 2023, and I will not be playing The Sims 4 on my channel. It's just not something that I want to waste my time on. I don't feel bad playing The Sims 2, This is a pirated copy of the game, so nobody got money. And I got it before the Legacy Collection even came out. So it was basically the only way to get The Sims 2. Once the new owners discover that this community is literally feral, my money is on them selling off the Maxis part of the studio. I truly believe that they don't want the heat that this community can bring. And the best case scenario would be if they sell off the Maxis part of the studio and just keep the EA Sports. At least in my opinion. Okay, back to the build. I'm getting the exterior lighting sorted out. Usually when I'm building, I'll just hit the L key to change the light from day to night so that the lights turn on and I can see what they actually light up. And now I pick out a chandelier. Other than Sims stuff, I have 2 dogs. I have a golden retriever named Luna, and I have a Newfoundland poodle named Mufasa. We got him at 12 weeks old, and he definitely grew into his name. They are my whole entire world, and I love them so much. Okay, this is where I finally changed the inside wall color. And we'll slap a roof on, and I believe the mausoleum's all done. So I was a babysitter for years before I started filing W-2s at Bob Evans when I started working there in early 2008. Also the year I graduated high school. Whoa. But before I got my first job, I said to my mom, I said, listen, I've been babysitting all the way up through my education. I want to take some time and I want to join the dive team. And both my parents and my brother supported me. And there was one dive that I actually placed for Whippeals, which was I qualified, which blew my mind because it was just something that I was doing for fun because I thought, this is fun. Maybe it'll help keep me in shape. But then I actually ended up being kind of good at it, and it made me smile. But starting in 2008, I started as a host, and I like to think that I was pretty good at my job. I transitioned to being a server while I was still working at Bob Evans. They treated me really well there. That's why I stayed for so long. I stayed there until the pandemic hit in 2020. Back to the build, I am now putting in a little picnic area and some play equipment for kids. This way my Sims can make a day of visiting Grandma and Grandpa. Oh, this great sky of totalitarianism that I am putting on the lot, this will have animated clouds in the sky. So we're setting up the playground equipment. I put in a little tree house and a slide. After that's all finished, I decide that maybe I should put a pond on this lot. Just to give my Sims something else to do if they come here. So now I work in a Mexican restaurant, but I have a ton of server stories, so if you want to hear those, let me know in the comments below, and I will put together a couple more speed build videos and tell some stories. I am putting some water lilies and other vegetation in the pond. Again, I just want to make it look pretty. After I'm finished with the pond, I head back over to like the cemetery itself and continue putting plants and making it pretty. And I also put in a custom content telephone here. I like this one. I like the way that this one looks better than the blue and yellow one that comes with the lot. You'll see the little cheat console come up at the top of the screen, and I turn Move Objects on, so I'm able to move the trash can and the old telephone. I really have a hard time deciding where I want to put this stuff. I only struggle for a minute, please bear with me. There we go, a little concrete pad, and the services part of the lot is done. I throw in a couple of flowers to be like in front of the headstones whenever we bring them here. This is where I change the Gray Woman of SimCity to be copper, and then you'll see I take a couple of screenshots. Okay, I continue adding a little bit of ivy, just like finishing touches for the cemetery at this point. It was at this point I noticed that I had forgotten to put in a bathroom, so we're gonna do that. Oh no, it looks like more screenshots first. I gotta get a thumbnail, right? The bathroom is just a little 3x1 with a toilet, a spot for a door, and the sink. I forgot that we had toilet stalls, so I revised that a little bit as I put one of those in. This is actually kind of turning into a bougie bathroom for a cemetery. I finish installing the ceiling, and then we put a roof on this bad boy. Here you can see me thinking about if I missed anything. I did. It was street lamp posts. And that's gonna do it for the build. This was my first time trying a speed build, and I had a lot of fun. So if this is something you would like more of, please leave it down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have an aspiration level platinum day. Bye for now.